7 o'clock on the east. A few people joining, so we'll get started in 1 more minute. Okay, hello Girl Scouts and welcome to the webinar. We are really excited to be connecting with all of you this evening, and certainly special thanks for taking time out of your weeknight to spend it with us. My name is Lisa Sorby. We will do full introductions and get started in a couple minutes, but before we do, wanted to take care of some housekeeping items and set some context for everybody up front. First, this evening we are using GoToWebinar technology. If you are having trouble with audio, we suggest connecting via your computer with a headset. We find that is the best option. You can also try dialing in for audio via your phone. You'll see the access code is listed on the screen here. Your audio lines will actually remain muted throughout the course of our presentation. We do that to reduce background noise. However, there is a questions log feature on the right-hand side. You'll see it there. You can ask us questions via that functionality. We've tried to anticipate many of your questions and are going to do our best to proactively address them throughout the course of the webinar. So you might want to hold them till the end, but know that function is there for you should you want to ask us questions or need clarification. In terms of our audience here this evening, we know we have folks joining in from all over the country. We know some of you are joining individually. Some of you have gathered with fellow volunteers. Others are at council viewing parties. We have all of these audiences in mind tonight, and please note that we will be sending the recording of the webinar out to everybody who is registered. We're also going to cover a ton of territory, so I know it's challenging to catch all of it at once, so know that at the end we will send the recording, and we're also going to send an FAQ document for your reference. You're going to get those tomorrow, so if you don't catch everything the first time, you'll have those reference documents for you to use as well. So you have been invited here tonight because you are an administrative volunteer. Your council has identified you as a key partner and they sent you an email invitation. So administrative volunteers are our target audience for this evening. When we say administrative volunteers, we're talking about those trusted partners at the council level who serve and support other volunteers. These roles include service unit managers, community leads, service team members, council trainers and facilitators, folks who are event coordinators or camp directors, and people who are serving in troop mentor or organizer roles. So as administrative volunteers, your support of your fellow volunteers is certainly critical to the movement, and we appreciate and thank you for everything you're doing to create the next generation of go-getters, innovators, risk takers, and leaders. We're certainly proud to serve with you. So another couple quick context things here. This webinar is the result of a suggestion that was made by your council leadership. So GSUSA doesn't typically hold webinars with volunteers, given the council and volunteer relationship, but our council partners felt strongly that this was a great opportunity for us to connect directly on the new program rollout. So with that, we're going to give you a private preview regarding the new program rollout and some of the rationale and testing behind it. So we're trusting you with information that hasn't been released to the public or to troop leaders at large, and we're counting on your Girl Scout honor to not post screenshots or the webinar recording to social media sites. Sharing information prematurely would undercut the communications and marketing rollout plans at your councils, and it would make key strategic information available to people outside of Girl Scouts. So we appreciate your discretion and your partnership on this. As we dive in, please note that your council teams are also learning and getting up to speed on this information. They might not yet be experts or have all the answers to your questions, but we are continuing to partner with them so they are in the best position to support you going forward. But for tonight, and most importantly, we want to ensure that you're in the loop so you're prepared for the program launch in July. Tonight is all about supporting you in your role as an administrative volunteer and allowing you to learn about what's new so you feel knowledgeable and prepared and excited about what's coming. And so you can incorporate this knowledge into your role when you're supporting other volunteers, especially troop leaders, as we move into our next membership year. So with that, let's do some introductions on the GSUSA side. As I mentioned at the beginning, my name is Lisa Sorby. I have the privilege of leading the volunteer and service delivery team at GSUSA. I've been a Girl Scout for 24 years. Before joining GSUSA, I served as the Chief Program Officer at a local council. I am a cadet troop leader. I have 2 daughters who have been in the program since they were 5. So I'm a user of the national program portfolio and tools, not just a producer, which is really insightful to my work here at GSUSA. I feel particularly passionate about the program because I was a Girl Scout as a girl. I know what this program meant to me personally, and I see what it does for my own daughters and the girls in my troop. And I want that opportunity for all girls, which is why I do what I do. So, want to introduce the rest of my team. I am part of an awesome group of people. You see their names and faces on the screen here. Our group is responsible for volunteer support and recognition projects and tools, and we've been working in support of the new program creation and rollout. So we are responsible for the volunteer toolkit as well, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the webinar. So our team consists of Caitlin Tyler, Kristen Whitaker, and Francesca Sokolik. They are a brilliant group of pros who are committed members of our movement, and I'm thrilled to work alongside them. So right now, they're actually behind the scenes monitoring the questions log throughout the webinar, so you might see their names pop up. Feel free to say hi to them. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to my friend and colleague, Jennifer Allebeck, to introduce herself and her team and kick off the first part of our agenda.
Thanks, Lisa, and good evening, everybody. This is Jennifer Allebeck. I'm the Vice President for Girl Experience at GSUSA, and I have the honor and privilege of overseeing the Girl Experience team. I have a picture up there. It's our electronic holiday card. We just thought you'd like to see the entire group. And these folks that are amazingly committed Girl Scout executives oversee everything a girl does in Girl Scouting. But today you'll hear from me and Sharon Beatty, who will come on a few minutes later, and she is our Senior Program and Property Manager. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a 3rd-generation Girl Scout, and my daughters are 4th generation, and they're recent college graduates and alumni. My 5th generation in our family happen to be the granddaughters who are Daisy Girl Scouts. One just finished her first camp session at Camp McCowley in Citrus Council. I've been a Girl Scout for over 50 years, and I was a first-class Scout. I was also a leader during my early tenure, and then I went to work for a local council, and then went through reorganization during that time period where the councils formed into high-capacity councils. And then I ended my council career at a council where I was the Chief Volunteer and Program Officer before coming to Girl Scouts of the United States of America to lead the girl team. So today, or tonight, the agenda will cover the National Strategy Program Overview with new program content. We're going to let you hear some testimonials from our valued girls and volunteers, and we will also talk about when the products will become available. Then Lisa will join us again to talk about the Volunteer Toolkit, which you might hear us refer to as the VTK. We'll recap with next steps and stay on the line because we have polls for you at the end of this webinar, and we will keep the question log open so that you can continue to ask questions as we go through the evening. So this high-level strategy and background is what we're going to focus on first. We met with a group of volunteers on Saturday, and we switched up the agenda, so we're going to get right to the content first so that you'll see what's coming ahead of us. This is our North Star. These are the outcomes or the 5 benefits we've promised girls. Seeing girls experience and progress in these areas is an important reminder of why they should stay in Girl Scouting. That's why we're here as well. Every activity we design for girls is designed with the intent to help them thrive. Of course, we want to be thinking about the fun and excitement part while they're doing it as well. Girl Scouts of the United States has played a pivotal role in providing programs that help girls dig deep and think critically about the information that they get at their fingertips, develop insights, and then apply them. Communicate persuasively, understand and practice empathy, create healthy relationships, and basically learn how to learn. In Girl Scouting, girls discover their skills, talents, and what they care about. They connect with other Girl Scouts and people in their community, and they take action to change the world. This is called the Girl Scout Leadership Experience. When done as intended, when it's girl-led with hands-on activities where girls can team up and work together, they achieve one or more of the 5 leadership outcomes. And what happens when this occurs? It results in girls becoming go-getters, innovators, risk-takers, or leaders. GIRL. It's the brand platform that showcases how Girl Scouts give girls the chance to define leadership their way. And how do we own this? Girl Scouts develop leadership development curriculum or program called Journeys. They're project-based, multidisciplinary learning adventures that help girls identify and solve problems in their community and have fun. Journeys are the nationally standardized program, and badges offer the chance to try new things and develop new skills. Based on the strategy recommendations in 2015, we landed on 4 national program pillars that are encased with the Girl Scout leadership experience and threaded with take action to change the world throughout. We started to simplify the program, as was our charge, and rolled up our sleeves and got to work. Here's what we did. We first confirmed that all new content for girls will be aligned to the 4 program pillars of STEM, outdoor, life skills, and entrepreneurship. Back one. No. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. We committed to ensuring that all content will be grounded in the Girl Scout leadership experience. We developed a national STEM strategy with 3 priority areas of engineering, computer science, and outdoor STEM. We implemented the outdoor strategy, the foundation of which was introduced at the 2014 convention in Salt Lake City, with 3 priority areas: outdoor skills, outdoor adventure, and environmental action. We determined that curating great content from the field and from expert content partners will enable us to make the program relevant, impactful, and fast to market. We have aligned all content developed this year and for future development to the 5 national outcomes. You may ask why we chose STEM and outdoor and created new journeys. Given the responses from the field that we heard, it said that it was the delivery, not the content, that folks were upset about. We developed the template for 6 new session journeys in topics that girls and volunteers and parents gave input on. And most importantly, we are supporting volunteers with a different delivery method and support. So in 2008, I was in a council working as the Chief Volunteer and Program Officer when we all received the exciting journey content from GSUSA. And I have to say that the content is great. We heard that from the field that we loved the content, but it was the delivery that was sometimes difficult for volunteers to be able to translate to girls. So we spent a lot of time in my council working with volunteers at the service unit level to make sure that they understood the volunteer guide as well as the girl guide and how to implement it, and most importantly, why to implement these journeys. So I'm familiar with what happened at the council level when the journeys were introduced, and I took those learnings and came to GSUSA so that we could develop and roll out new content, and this time do it a little bit differently. We wanted to make sure that we could have a delivery system that was easy for volunteers. So as you can see here, this is the 3 key takeaways that we heard. People love the content, but change the delivery and make it simpler. Girls want more outdoor content. And finally, please, let's do STEM. So that's why we chose STEM and outdoor. So before I start and get into the actual details of the content, I just want to point out that the original journeys, the ones that were written and delivered to the field in 2008 to 10, are not going away. They are still in the stores, and they are also in the volunteer toolkit. So please remember this as we go on to explain the new content, because the new content is content that we are adding. Next slide. So this is an overview of the outdoor journeys and badges. We have focused the outdoor journey for K through 12. We have K through 5 journeys and a multi-level, so there will be a journey for the multi-level troop that will run between the K and 5 grade, or Daisy, Brownie, Junior. We also have a multi-level for older girls, Cadet, Senior, and Ambassador, in addition to the individual grade level journeys. So the journey is a new format in outdoor, and it focuses on earning badges that lead to a Take Action project. Each journey has sessions, 6 for Daisies, where they will earn 2 badges and a Take Action award. And for Brownies to Ambassadors, there's 9 sessions where they will earn 3 badges and a Take Action award. For Daisies, for the first time, we are adding an outdoor art maker badge, so the Daisies will now have an outdoor art badge like the other grade levels do. For each of the outdoor journeys, we work to provide girls with the skills necessary for outdoor success while sparking their interest in outdoor stewardship. We're asking girls to earn specific outdoor badges in a sequential order to ensure the outdoor progression skills are developed every step of the way. So, for example, Brownies will earn their first aid badge, then their hiker badge, followed by cabin camper. And oh, by the way, cabin camper is new. It's part of our Girls' Choice Outdoor series, as you'll see on the right side, where Daisies are buddy campers, Brownies are cabin campers, Juniors are echo campers, Cadets are primitive campers, Seniors are adventure campers, and Ambassadors are survival campers. So as you can see, we have journeys that lead to the highest awards in outdoor. Once the badges are earned, the girls then create and complete the Take Action project, which leads them on the path to the highest awards. The next area that we developed exciting content is the STEM journey and badge focus areas. Again, these are K through 5 with a multi-level journey as well. There are 3 journeys. Each journey has 6 sessions. The first 3 sessions have a hands-on activity that are related to the topic. For example, girls who do Think Like an Engineer journey will do a hands-on design challenge in each of the first 3 sessions, and then the last 3 sessions are focused on doing a Take Action project and a final celebration. The engineering theme is design thinking. Girls learn to think like an engineer. We use content from Design Squad to create the series. We piloted last fall and got great feedback. You'll hear more about that in a few minutes. In the engineering category, we also have introduced badges, robotics badges, 3 each for Daisies, Brownies, and Juniors. That's 9 badges in total, and this follows a different model. These are progressive badges, so that a Daisy has the chance to earn up to 3 badges in robotics, as does a Brownie or a Junior. They teach the basics of robotics, what robots are, what they can do, how they're programmed, and how they're built through hands-on activities. And they are intentionally designed to be unplugged activities. That means girls can earn the badges without buying robotic kits. So that's where the program becomes accessible to all girls. Of course, if a volunteer wants to use the kits to help girls complete the requirements, that's fine. The second journey is the computer science journey, and the theme is computational thinking. Oh, excuse me, before I forget, we also have mechanical engineering badges that we developed for Daisies and Brownies. The computer science theme is computational thinking. Girls learn how to think like a programmer, how numbers work, what algorithms are, through hands-on activities from code.org. And in addition to the activities for girls, we're able to use code.org training videos as a volunteer resource. We tested these activities as well. The outdoor STEM theme is the final journey topic for STEM journeys, and it is citizen science. Scientists often need lots of data for the research, so they ask regular people, i.e. citizens, to help collect it. Girls will use the scientific method when they do a citizen science project. They will make observations, collect data, and analyze it. And there's two reasons why we chose this theme for outdoor STEM. The majority of citizen science projects are done outdoors. And two, not every girl will grow up to be a scientist, but every girl is a citizen, and we want citizens who understand and appreciate science. We partnered with SciStarter, an organization that's created a website with more than 1,500 projects. The cool thing about this site is that it lists projects children can do. They're helping us by selecting projects that are appropriate for our Girl Scout grade levels. And our favorite anecdotes with the testing process is after doing the activities, one group of girls decided they wanted to organize a day of citizen science as their Take Action project. I'll come back in a few minutes to share visual representations of all the new badges, but first I'd like to introduce Sharon Beatty to take it from here. Sharon?
Thank you, Jennifer. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to be with you this evening. I, like Jennifer and Lisa, I have deep Girl Scout roots, grew up as a Girl Scout, have served in several councils, and then came to GSUSA. And we are so excited that all of you are on the line and with us tonight. We thought you'd like to know about how all of the STEM journeys that Jennifer was just talking about were tested, because STEM is a relatively new pillar for us to focus on for all girls. So we included some robust pilot testing. First of all, huge thanks to the 10 councils who were pilot councils for this work. As you can see, they got involved with troops and volunteers and girls, so we had 91 troops, 1,185 girls, and 156 volunteer leaders who tested this content for us. And they had lots of things to say at the end of those tests. We got reams of things from them, and we thought we'd share a few of those comments with you. Here's just a few that we got back from both girls and leaders who participated in the pilot of the Design Thinking Badge. So as you can see, these two girls' statements are in black, the leaders are in green. This Daisy said, I really liked building the bridge, even though it fell the first time, because then we got to make it better and it worked. And the other girl, a junior, said, building the house, I actually got to build the house. I got to express my feelings by building the house. I was kind of proud of my house. Doesn't that sound like a junior? I love it. And the leaders had things to say too. It was amazing watching them gain confidence, work as a team, communicate together, allow input from each other, build things, and take pride when it worked. And more importantly, not get discouraged when it didn't work the first time. And the other leader, who had a multi-grade troop, said the girls walked away with new definitions on engineering. They also walked away knowing that if they enjoyed design, building, and looking for a solution to a problem, that they could be an engineer one day. Those comments just make me wish I were 7 again. We know girls are going to love these new materials. So as key volunteers in our organization, we're now counting on you to help us launch these new resources. They'll provide an exciting addition to the start of the next membership year as long as we all get ready. So we wanted to share with you what to expect from your council in the coming months. Between now and the launch in mid-July, we're counting on you to help us build excitement and awareness with the volunteers in your service unit or those in your circle. There will be new web banners, marketing materials, and social media messaging that you'll start seeing at the council. And if you've been paying attention to Facebook, you know there's already a great deal of excitement as volunteers get ready for these new resources. If you're a trainer, you're going to see that trainings are going to be updated, and your council will be working on that in time for fall kickoffs. Once the new badges and journeys hit the VTK in mid-July, all of us, staff and key volunteers, are going to be in full launch phase. We're counting on you to drive the volunteers you work with to the VTK, because obviously that toolkit will have the information they need. Please be sure to include information about these new badges and journeys in your fall kickoffs and early service unit gatherings. Soon, your council shops are going to have the badges so that girls and parents can see them and get excited about earning them. And if you're a trainer, you and your council will be updating your fall leader trainings to include these new materials. Now, from September on, we all want to be focused on engagement and getting this to the girls. With your help, we're going to get girls excited for their new recognitions by featuring them in fall events whenever possible. Make sure you're working with your new volunteers to share your excitement and your great suggestions and tips on helping girls with new badges. As you begin to plan for this exciting launch, if you need support, ideas, or answers, don't hesitate to reach out to your council staff. And then one more thing. You are obviously important to Girl Scouting and to your council, or you would not have been invited here today. With that comes some responsibility. The badge designs, the requirements, and other information are embargoed until mid-July. Now, we know that the downloads are already available through the shop, but we're trusting on you, on your honor, to not share screenshots from tonight or other information with those who were not invited today, so that we can roll this out nationally and also through the national media on schedule. Please feel free to share your excitement about the new program with your colleagues and on social media, but please don't share screenshots from today's webinar. Let's give everybody a chance to hear about this in the right way. So now I'm going to turn this over to Lisa Sorby, and she has so much to tell you about. Lisa?
Actually, Sharon, I'm going to jump in. This is Jennifer.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Sure. Thank you, Sharon, for that update. So I'd like to talk to you now about the program availability. I have a chart up in front of me, and I want to explain this a little bit so that we understand what's coming out in the market for fiscal year or membership year 2018. You will see the journeys and badges on the left. So think like an engineer, think like a programmer, think like a citizen science. Those are the K through 5 journeys, Daisy, Brownie, and Junior. The outdoor journey goes all the way through all of the levels. They all have a multi-level approach as well. The Summit Award, as you know, takes 3 journeys to be completed so that a girl can earn it. That remains the same. They just have more journeys now to choose from. Older girl content, the journeys for the engineering, so think like an engineer for cadet, senior, and ambassador, actually will begin the process of writing in late summer for next year at this time. And in addition, we will complete the menu of robotics badges for cadet, senior, ambassador in the same time frame. So you can look for additional older girl content for next summer, just like this summer's content is going to be available soon on the Volunteer Toolkit. The chart on the right also explains what's available in the Volunteer Toolkit, that's the VTK, what's available for download or online store, and I'll go into this in a little more detail, and what's available for sale in the council shops. Also, you'll see where the Take Action Awards are applicable. So again, to review, our current journeys, our original journeys, are the Advocacy, It's Your World, Change It, Environmental, It's Your Planet, Love It, and Self-Esteem, It's Your Journey, Tell It. We also have the Girls Guide to Girl Scouting, and there will be a new badge pullout with all of the new badges updated by August. So you'll be able to refer to all of that content. Continuing along, I want to also mention that on the Volunteer Toolkit, we will be uploading Welcome to the Daisy Flower Garden, so that the Daisy Girl Scout will have all 3 original journeys for the new DAISY leader. That's important to you as a service unit leader or trainer to let new DAISY leaders know that they have all of the journeys available in the volunteer toolkit to really engage girls in the pedal year as well. Next slide. So this is the Girl Scout product availability slide. What I want to show you on this is when you can expect to see in our retail stores and online the products that you want. June 15th, you may have heard in social media, the Troop Camping Badge booklets are already available for download. And by mid-July, all of the physical badges will be not only on the online store, but also in the council shops. July 24th, all of the badge booklets will be available to download online. And in August, go back to the shop at your council and you can get the actual printed badge booklets. So we have a very aggressive schedule to get this content and these products out to you. So the next few slides, you'll have to bear with me because I want to show you the badges in two ways. The first way that I will show you is by theme, the STEM and outdoor. And then we'll switch it up and I'll show you what's available for each grade level. So let's take it away. Here's the first page, Engineering Journey, Think Like an Engineer. You can see the badges are right there, as well as the Take Action. Then there's the Mechanical Engineering badges, and that uses a Goldie Blocks kit. We'll explain that a little later. The Robotics badges, you can see how really clever they are for Daisy, Brownie, and Junior. Computer Science Journey, Think Like a Programmer. Outdoor STEM, Think Like a Citizen Scientist. And here's the Outdoor Journey. You can see the Daisy, the Brownie, and the Junior. Then we go to the Cadet, Senior, and Ambassador. I'm going through these fast because there's a lot, but we'll spend a few more minutes on the grade levels. And then these are the Troop Camping Badges. Remember the Girls' Choice process? These are the results from Daisy through Ambassador. And then finally, here's a slide that just shows you the brand new Daisy badges. These are brand new and something that you will see every year from now on. We heard from the Daisy leaders that Daisy Scouts really want to have badges as well. Okay. Here's another way of showing you how the Journeys, badges, and awards are available. We're trying to show you in many different ways so that you'll see how we're trying to think of this. So all in all, there's a grand total of new badges and awards that total 38. But as you can see, that encompasses the engineering journey, the computer science journey, the outdoor STEM journey, the outdoor journey, the robotics and the engineering badges, the Girls' Choice badges, the Daisy badges for a grand total of 38 badges. And just remember, all of the new journeys can go as prerequisites for the highest awards. And we're really thrilled, and I can't say it enough, to have an outdoor journey K through 12 that qualifies for the Gold Award and the Silver Award and the Bronze Award. So let's get to those grade levels. Here's what's new for Daisy Girl Scouts. As you can see, there are quite a few things that a Daisy can have and put on her vest or tunic. The badge placement charts that we all use and refer for our troop leader meetings will be out online in August. But really, it's the rule of thumb, except for Daisies. If it's a journey, you put it on the journey side of the vest. And if it's a badge, it goes on the badge side of the vest. How about Brownies? This is what's new for the Brownies. As you can see, some of these are current badges and some of these are new content. But by doing some of the legacy badges, in addition to the new badges, they can earn their journey. And there's also the engineering and the robotics. How about juniors? As you can see, the junior Girl Scouts have the robotics badges, the journeys, and then the outdoor journeys, the STEM journey and the outdoor. And cadet, you can see here what they will use. Primitive Camper is the new badge for their Take Action project and their journey. And then seniors, same thing, they're adventure campers and a Take Action. And finally, ambassadors. Same model, survival camper, and a take action. You might say that the take action awards look the same. We did want them to have the same look this time so that a girl can look at her badge sash and say how many take action projects she earned. You know what? And here's the great thing about all of this content. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you think after you roll this out to the girls, see what they think, see how it works. We're still looking at ways to make this the program that resonates for every girl, not just the girls we have now, but the girls we hope to attract with this exciting new content. And the way that we are rolling it out for volunteers and the ease of use is particularly exciting to me, coming from a council, to be here and telling you about it. And I'm going to introduce Lisa Sorby again so that she can walk you through the volunteer toolkit. Lisa?
Thanks, Jennifer. Hi, everybody. So we're going to spend the next few minutes on the volunteer toolkit. You'll hear us also refer to it as the VTK. So as Jennifer mentioned, all of the new program content will be available on the VTK as a free volunteer resource for troop leaders. So before we dive into more content here, we want to take a quick poll and hear from you. So we're going to launch a poll on the screen. We'd love you to identify which statement best describes yourself. Take a few minutes and read through each of these. It will help us give a better idea of where you guys are at so we can tailor this next section in terms of, as administrative volunteers, how comfortable or aware are you with the volunteer toolkit? Are you actively promoting it, or have you never used it before? And we certainly understand there are some councils who have recently launched it or have not yet launched it, so it might be a new tool to you. So take a few minutes and identify which statement best describes you as an administrative volunteer in your administrative volunteer capacity, and then we'll go ahead and display those results. Okay, so these are the results. So thanks everybody for chiming in. So it looks like we have a little bit of mix, everything from folks who are what we consider power users to folks who have some general awareness to folks who aren't yet familiar or folks who are recently launched. So really helpful context. Thanks so much, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in here. So like I mentioned, we know there are councils at various levels of VTK adoption. So some of what we're going to cover, some of you might be very well versed in, and while others might be hearing this for the first time. So honoring that we've got people at different levels of VTK utilization. So we'll go ahead and jump into the next slide. We're going to do some quick level setting here. Well, I know there's sometimes a lag here with the webinar with the slides, so bear with us. We'll pull down the poll and we'll get to that next slide, which will just kind of give us some level set around the volunteer toolkit. There we go. And so some quick context here. So the volunteer toolkit is a digital tool for troop leaders. It was designed to address troop leader barriers and pain points based on survey feedback from volunteers. So based on feedback we were receiving from troop leaders, and what they were sharing was the time required to plan and lead meetings, to communicate with parents, to find and look up resources. These were all user experience issues that we were looking to improve and to help support our troop leaders. So we also were considering this in the overall context of user trends, particularly with millennial troop leaders who are looking for digital, mobily responsive tools. So currently, all troop leaders have access to Volunteer Toolkit. So that is DAISY through Ambassador. Everybody has access, as do multi-level leaders. So anybody who is leading a troop that is not a specific grade level, so it might be a DAISY and Brownie troop, it could be a Cadet Senior Ambassador troop, it could be a K-12 troop. All of those are considered multi-level, and they all have access to VTK. So long story short, if you're a troop leader or a co-leader, you have access to the VTK. Council administrators are also part of our users. They have access into VTK. There are some things that councils can customize for their users. within the VTK. And then another user group is our troop parents. So troop parents also have access to the VTK. They have read-only access, so they can view year plans, which is what the troop is working on throughout the course of the year, so they can see what badges or journeys are being worked on, and they can also view troop financial reports if your council is choosing to use that function. So a quick note on the volunteer toolkit, because we get this question a lot around access. All leaders and co-leaders for a troop have access to and share the same troop year plan view. Each troop leader does not have their own VTK. It syncs up amongst all troop leaders and co-leaders for a specific troop number. So they can all see and make edits to the same plan. And also leaders with multiple troops can use the VTK. They can toggle back and forth between troop numbers to set up plans for their respective years. So let's go ahead to the next slide. A big question we get in terms of how people access the VTK. So troop leaders can go to from your local council webpage, so not from the GSUSA page, but from your local council page. They will click on My GS, which you'll see up there in the upper right-hand corner of your local council website. That's how they access the volunteer toolkit. And so a quick note here, because we know that service unit volunteers do not have access to the volunteer toolkit unless you're also leading a troop, which is something that we're considering as we look forward to the future of VTK. As I said earlier, we recognize that certainly you guys are a key constituency in needing to know about and understand the program and the troop leader tools so you can help promote them or answer questions about them. And as such, we've been working with council teams on the best way to share VTK info with administrative volunteers. So we know there are folks who are on the phone right now who don't have an actual VTK login, but we're working with council teams to create tools and get you information that helps support you in your role. So we're working on flyers that can be shared at service unit meetings. There's a new promotional video. There's also a VTK demo site for councils that they can use and reference with administrative volunteers, as well as some PDF program resources they can share with folks as well. So there are resources in the works, and your council teams are going to be working on their best local solutions to roll out. So more to come on that. But no, we recognize this as a need of attention, and that we're working to identify solutions with our council partners. So also related to that, we get questions about individually registered members, or Juliettes. Girls themselves don't have access to the volunteer toolkit right now. So again, we're working with councils on the best way to make that program content available to those user groups. And so that's part of the solutions we're working on directly with councils. So more to come from your councils on that. So let's go ahead and take a look at some VTK functionality. In the interest of time, we're going to just do a quick overview about what exists in the VTK today, and then we'll talk about what's coming next with the new program content. There are currently 3 main areas of functionality in the VTK. There is a program planning piece for Daisy Brownie Jr., which has pre-populated year plans for the troop leaders to use. So this will map out a number of sessions for them in troop meetings so they can identify what badges or journeys the girls want to work on. And so leaders can use these as is, or they can customize them. Multi-level leaders have access to this content as well, and they can add multiple grade levels to one meeting if they choose. It's important to call out that all troop leaders have access to all program content available in the VTK. So if you're a Brownie leader, for example, the default view for you as a user will be the Brownie program, but you can also search for, find, and add Daisy content, for example. You could add a Daisy meeting plan to your year plan. And we find this feature is especially helpful for multi-level troops and also for cadet troops that are working on, for example, their LIA award and need to look at younger girl content. So all users can access all program content in the VTK. In addition to program resources, there are also troop management resources. So troop rosters and links to membership renewal. They can email parents. They can enter and submit their end of the year troop financial report. Again, if your council is choosing to use that function. There's also a resources section in VTK, which includes safety activity checkpoints, meeting resources and aids. There's PDFs of the promise and the law. There are tips for working with girls and parents. So while pre-populated program content is currently focused on Daisy Brownie Jr., in the VTK, and soon we'll have that K-5 multi-level available mid-July, as well as some CSA Cadet Senior Ambassador PDFs for that outdoor program content. It's important to note the troop management and resources section, that is available to everybody. So regardless of your grade level, there is functionality in the VTK that troop leaders can take advantage of. So a quick note on older girl content. So we get lots of questions around the older girl content. And so we currently don't have those pre-populated year plans and meeting plans for the cadet, senior, and ambassador troop leaders. And we've been thinking through this. We've been thinking this through in terms of what is the level of support that is needed and how does that change at the older girl levels? Because what we created for K-5 might not be what's needed for the older girl grade levels, especially as we think of progression and girls taking a more active role. So we initially invested in K-5 because it accounted for the majority of our membership, but in the future we'll be exploring how to best support the 6 through 12 volunteers and girls. And so to be clear, we are very much value our older girls and their troop leaders. We couldn't build everything K-12 all at once. So a future focus will definitely be considerations needed for our cadet senior ambassador troops, our troop leaders, and the girls. So let's go ahead to the next slide and take a look at what's new with the year plans. So none of the current VTK functionality or program materials are going away. So everything that we're talking about here is added functionality, as Jennifer said. So it's not replacing existing journeys or existing content. It's in addition to. So we're adding to what already exists in the VTK. So the majority of the new program content is being released in mid-July. And what you're looking at right now is a side-by-side comparison of current and future state. So the current state is on the left, the future state is on the right. And this image on the right is a mock-up of what our development team is working on right now. It might be tweaked a little bit by the time it goes live, but we'll give you an idea of what it will look like live in VTK in mid-July. Some highlights to note about new functions in VTK for those of you who are more familiar with it or are using it within your troop leader role. So the year plans will be organized by 3 categories. So volunteers will log in and they will see 3 different category options. And we heard about this in interviews with volunteers. They wanted these options kind of categorized to help them make those choices. So there'll be the first category is petals, leaves, and badges. The second category is journeys. And the third category is create your own. All grade levels have the opportunity to take advantage of a create your own option. And so there'll be those 3 high-level categories that they'll all be organized within. Each of those categories will have a subcategory. So you'll notice here that subcategory might be advocacy or STEM, the environment, something that's a quick identifier to help that leader or co-leader identify the topic of that specific year plan. And so another thing to call out is all of the year plans that are new for this upcoming membership year. We'll put them in the yellow typeface there. You see them identified as new to help the volunteers identify which content is new if they've heard some buzz around it. And we've also added preview functionality. You'll see it there. There's a select button, and next to that is preview. So today a volunteer has to select a year plan in order to take a look at it. But we heard from volunteers in the survey data and in interviews, they wanted the ability to preview it before they select it. So this gives the volunteer an opportunity to do that. And also at the very top of the page there, you will see there's a way to preview all of the year plan overview. It's a PDF that volunteer can print out and take with them to a meeting or just have for their reference. Again, these are kind of enhancements to the product that are designed to be a little more user-friendly for that volunteer and help them make choices and help them know more about the program elements. One question we also get is a concern about VTK not being girl-led, which in fact, girl-led is built into the actual year plans. There are meeting plans in the VTK that direct the volunteer to discuss the different badge and journey options with the girls and ultimately select the one they want to do. So it's written right into the year plans. So not only is girl-led part of the GSLE woven throughout the badge and journey activities themselves, it's also purposely built into the year plans so volunteers aren't doing all the planning without the girls. So we have covered a lot, but let's let's take a look at what you need to know about the VTK. So let's break it down for the high level themes here. So the new year plans, the Daisy Brownie Jr. Program elements that Jennifer covered, those will all be added to the VTK, and they will be available in mid-July. In addition, we have multi-level year plans, which will be added. And this is a really big one. We've been hearing from multi-level volunteers and survey data for a long time that this is a big need. And so it's our first true multi-level curriculum to streamline the planning and delivery process for those multi-level troop leaders. So that will be available in the VTK in mid-July. We'll also have new meeting plans and meeting aids for all new badges and journeys. All of those supporting resources will be in the VTK. And then also to call out, as Jennifer mentioned, we have new program content for Cadet Senior Ambassadors in that outdoor space. And those PDFs will be available on the Volunteer Toolkit. And those will be available by the end of the summer. So those are coming on VTK as well. So let's go ahead and jump to the next slide. So we've heard a whole bunch of information and really trying to break down. It's been a lot to digest, I know, and so wanting to give you some key themes and takeaways. Let's jump to that next slide there and give you kind of the high-level pieces here and some summary. So hopefully during our time together, your wheels have been turning, whether it's program ideas or volunteer support ideas or training ideas. And again, the aim this session was really to help you feel knowledgeable and prepared and excited about what's on the horizon. So you're in the best position to support other volunteers in your council. So from a next steps perspective, we definitely encourage you to continue working closely with your council teams and help supplement their communications and marketing efforts. Councils will be receiving communications and marketing assets to help with the rollout to troop leaders, to parents, and other constituencies. So communications, you'll likely start seeing those in the beginning of July. And as Sharon mentioned earlier, certainly feel free to share your enthusiasm about the new program content with other volunteers. Certainly some specifics around the strategy or the details that we share with you today were kind of for your information to help inform your role going forward. But you could, and we ask that you wait for the official rollout of those components, but certainly in the meantime, feel free to share your perspective around what's coming and what excites you about it. So let's go ahead and jump to the next slide. Okay, so a couple notes to call out in terms of the frequently asked questions and just things to highlight. So again, the original journeys are not going away. We're just adding new content that is available as a choice to volunteers. The badge placement has not changed. So things that are journey awards will go on the journey side of the vest. Things that are badges will go on the badge side of the vest. So the badge placement is staying the same. We will be updating that chart, which will be coming and be available to you. As a reminder, the VTK will be available in mid-July. We'll have some of those enhancements we talked about, as well as the program content. And of course, the Cadet Senior Ambassador groups are getting new outdoor journeys content that count. And these also do count towards the highest awards. We get that question a lot. So those would meet the prerequisite for the for step one within the higher awards pieces for silver and gold. And also the call out around the multi-level content, and this is K-5 specifically. So within that K-5 multi-level audience, they will have true multi-level curriculum where they can adjust a specific activity up or down based on the grade level of the girls, so they can do it together as a troop. And then finally, the call out around from an outdoor perspective, right, the content for K-5 as well as the content for 6 through 12. So with that, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. We have a couple poll questions for all of you. We'd love to learn more about you and your experience, which helps inform our work going forward. So our first poll question is wanting to get a better sense from all of you in terms of what is your administrative volunteer role at your council. If you could go ahead and check all that apply, that would be great. So take a few minutes to read those through, respond with your answers, and then we'll go ahead and display those results. Okay, great. So looks like the majority of folks on the call are serving in a service unit manager or service unit team member, community managers, those types of roles. Certainly, we've got a lot of facilitators, mentors, organizers. Great. So thank you so much for taking the time on that one. We have another poll question. We want to also find out, in addition to your administrative volunteer role, are you also serving as a troop leader? So if you could please just indicate yes or no if you're also serving as a troop leader in addition to your administrative role. That would give us a good idea of who we've got on the phone. And also, while we're taking these poll questions, we do have people who are still monitoring the questions log. So you can keep typing in there. We're trying to respond to those as well. So it looks like the majority of you are troop leaders as well. So 86% of you are also serving in a troop leader capacity, which is outstanding. Thank you. And I think our next question here is around years of service as an adult member. So how many years have you been an adult member with Girl Scouts? If you could just select the age range that represents your years of adult membership, that would be great. And then we'll display the results when we're done. Okay, great. So looks like the majority of you are within your first through ninth year of adult membership, which is great. Thank you for taking the time to give us that detail. And then we have one final poll question that we want to put up, and it's, as I mentioned at the top of the webinar, this is the first time we have done this type of webinar with GSUSA communicating directly with administrative volunteers. So we'd like your feedback in terms of how helpful this information was. I will also call out that you are going to receive a survey via email, which asks for some additional detail in terms of what council you're from and some more detailed information about feedback on the webinar. And that is extremely helpful for us if you could take a few minutes to fill out that. So not only take a minute to respond to this poll question, but when you receive that survey in email, please take a few minutes and shoot us back your thoughts. It'll certainly inform how we approach these things in the future and what's useful for all of you as administrative volunteers. So we're not going to display this particular answer, but we'll let you guys take some time to respond to that. We're going to stay on the line for a couple more moments and try to address as many questions as we can in the questions log. As you can imagine, they are coming in very quickly, which is outstanding. We have over 1,000 of you on the line. And so for questions that we aren't able to get to, as I mentioned earlier, you are going to receive a recording of the webinar, and you are also going to receive an FAQ document. So we're shooting to get those to you tomorrow evening, and so you'll have those resources available to you, and we'll do our best to, if we can't answer your question in the questions log here, address it through the FAQ document. And then certainly as we continue to work with councils, sharing information with them that they can push out to their volunteers will be a way we continue to get more information and address questions and make sure folks are getting what they need. So with that, I know we are at time. Like I said, we'll hang out on the questions log for a few more moments. Thank you so much for your time this evening. We certainly appreciate your commitment to the movement and taking time this evening to spend it with all of us. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.